All right, Matt, we were talking before taping about this article that we ran across over the weekend, and it's disconcerting to say the least. Apparently, most young workers are using their retirement accounts like an ATM, and that just doesn't sound good in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's bad. It was about 60%, I think 59 to be exact, of people in the 18 to 34 age group have tapped into their retirement savings. Clearly, these people aren't retired. So some of this, to be honest, was for a good reason. If you have, say, medical expenses you have no other way to pay, that could be a valid reason to tap into your retirement money early. Same with if you're unemployed and have no other way to cover your day-to-day expenses, that could be a good reason. But about, just again, to run down some of the stats, 16% said they took the withdrawal to make a large purchase for themselves. 13% said it was just to spend the money. And another 7% said they took money out of their retirement to go on vacation. First of all, none of those are allowable reasons to take your money out. So you're going to get slapped with a penalty for doing that. The IRS penalty for early withdrawals is 10%. And if you take it out of a tax-deferred account like a 401k or a traditional IRA, you have to pay tax on the money on top of that. So you're talking about, depending on your tax bracket, like a 30% plus haircut right off the top when you take the money out. The real bad reason is you're really robbing from your future self here. From the financial planner's perspective, let's say you have $5,000 in your 401k and you leave your job, and you might want to take a vacation or something. If you withdraw that $5,000, that could easily become like $3,000 or so after taxes and penalties.
Wow.
Meanwhile, if you leave that invested for 30 years at just the average rate of return of the stock market over history, that $5,000 would become more than $76,000 by the time you're ready to retire in 30 years. So $3,000 now, $76,000 later. It sounds like the biggest no-brainer of all time to me, but a lot of younger people are making the wrong decision there.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember once upon a time when I was that age, and I mean, it's a little bit more difficult to see that far down the road to actually believe that it really matters. I mean, it's very easy just to say, nah, I'll just cross that bridge when I come to it. But the problem is that eventually you do come to that bridge. And if you've been misbehaving all the way up there and spending your savings, well, then you're stuck really with nothing, and you've wasted your biggest advantage in time. And so you can't make it up, right? You can't gain back what you lost. And that's why we tell people you have to get started immediately, like right when you get that first job, even if it's just, 5 or 6 or 7% of what you're getting paid, just start putting that stuff away, because time is really what allows you to become rich if you just, take the discipline to do that. And yeah, I tell you, withdrawing it for those types of reasons. I mean, I understand a medical emergency or something like that. And I mean, there are times you can borrow from your retirement account in some cases to make a payment on a house, and you can pay yourself back. There are qualified reasons for doing it, but just to spend the money or a vacation or something like that, I mean, I personally would never do that. And I think that could put people in a really big crunch when they get a little bit older.
Yeah, and especially because a lot of them don't realize that it results in a big tax hit when you do that.
Yeah.
So they'll take this money out and then get to tax time in April, and oh, geez, I owe $3,000 to the IRS that I wasn't thinking of, and that's a problem too. And then they do it again. Then they have to take that $3,000 out of their retirement account to pay the IRS, and the cycle repeats. So it can become a real cycle, and it can be really tough to get back on track once you start withdrawing from your retirement account for silly reasons.